talking about those two great gladiators of comic book world, Marvel. It is Hulk in one corner, and on the other corner, it is Thor. Who can win? Of course, Marvel's trying to show us a movie this December, whether or not November, right?
Oh, yeah,
about who's going to win, the Hulk or the Thor. But you know what? We have our own
the
opinions.
Thor.
We have our own opinions about who should win.
Here's a comic guy here.
So, PD, I know you're on one end of the spectrum. Cal, you're on the other end of the spectrum.
Huh?
And me, being impartial observer, will
What are you
decide at
talking
the
about?
very end.
Yeah, no, I think PD and I are on the same end of the spectrum, and you're the person who's. Who do you think can win?
Clearly, the man who's angriest around. You know?
Say the name.
I don't want to say the name.
Say the name.
I want to hear your appointment.
No. I already asked you.
PD,
Say the name.
what's going on?
What
No,
did you say?
don't let him get out of it.
Yeah.
Say the name.
Say it.
Say the name. I
The
already asked you.
Hulk, goddammit! Who else is it going to be but the Hulk? Yeah! Dr. Bruce Banner.
I can't tell if you're real, if you're just doing this to make certain we have something to talk about. It can't be the Hulk.
Why can't it be the Hulk?
Thor's more powerful.
Thor is a god and has been limited.
Oh
Quite a few
my
times.
gosh.
We know that.
All of these fights I ever hear about Hulk versus this guy and Hulk versus this guy for the most part, especially the more powerful people, there's always a handicap where for whatever reason these guys aren't doing everything that they could do in a fight. They're always just slugging it out with the Hulk. That suits him. Okay, and then the Hulk's thing is he's supposed to get angrier. He's supposed to get more powerful the angrier he gets, and he has no limit on his anger. Yeah, right. So there's no limit on the anger.
So wait a second. Let's probably we need to
Thor
define
could
that.
swing his hammer,
No, wait. Let's
circle the planet, come back and knock him out.
Hold on.
And there'll be nothing he can
let's
do about
define
it.
this. We're talking
There it
about
is. It's
mano
over.
on mano. We're not talking about hammer and man. We're talking about mano on mano. You know. If
Well,
you're gonna-
okay, let's go. This is the thing.
That's what I'm trying to say.
As a kid, I was a big fan of the Hulk, right? I was like, the Hulk is stronger than anyone, right?
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I opened up, first I opened up an Avengers comic, Avengers 3, where the Submariner and the Hulk meet up. And then the Submariner says, hey, you're the strongest on land, but let me take you down in the water, and beats the Hulk, right? It's like a couple panels. And then there's a scene where they're fighting the Avengers. Hulk and Submariner are fighting the Avengers. And Thor's like, we got to take this hammer from Thor, right? So the Hulk is trying to take the hammer from Thor, and he can't. And all you see is Thor's arm, and you see the Hulk like pulling.
That has nothing to do with strength. That's just magical.
But still, it's a point of saying this is as powerful as this guy is. So
No,
then
it doesn't.
that hurt me. That hurt me first, and then I was like, it's an annual where they actually decided that an offshoot of that story was they went to another dimension and they battled it out.
5 minutes, no hammer.
Yes.
And what happened?
Kirby art, delicious Kirby art.
And who won?
Thor showed that he was clearly stronger and faster, and the Hulk is just hard to handle. So there's a point where he's like they're battling strength to strength, and Thor is lifting the Hulk, and he's like, I'm the Hulk. But then of course the Hulk makes a move to get out of it, but Thor was clearly winning the fight. So there was Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are saying Thor is stronger than the Hulk. And at that point, Thor is also more popular, so you can see why there's no reason why they should allow the Hulk to win. But they clearly set that aspect because he's a god. And
Okay, so let's say in the Golden Age, possibly that may have been. But we're talking
well,
about
then
now,
we go further. We
Let's
go
go
further.
now. Let's go now.
The top
Silver
writer,
Age.
the top
Bronze
writer.
Age now.
Silver Age.
We're skipping the Silver Age. We're gonna
That
skip
is
the
so
Bronze
okay.
There's
we
no
go-
golden age for Marvel.
Bronze.
Then you go to Bronze Age, right? Then the top writer Steve Englehart decided that the Hulk and Thor would fight, and they're fighting strength to strength.
Was that the Defenders? Defenders?
Defender, yep.
Yeah.
And that one, they're fighting for hours, just matching strength.
Matching
and
strength.
then they're
Yeah.
like, and they're
Matching
that
strength.
that even. So it's like, and then at some point after that, outside of Hulk 300, where they showed that they're pretty much even again, that they sort of play more to the Hulk because the Hulk became more popular. But Thor was the clear guy. That's what they set up to
And
be.
Kirby, back then we're talking about now. Things evolve. I mean,
How did it evolve?
If you have that thought,
How did this
The
happen?
Defenders fight is a really good example that usually I bring up to shut things down. The Hulk's big thing is not so much that he's the strongest guy, it's that he can his strength is going to keep increasing so long as he's going to get angry. Fine. He's fighting with Thor at that time. They say he's getting angry, and they're still fighting for hours. That's not Thor's ability. Thor doesn't get stronger over time. Thor supposed to have a certain amount of strength, and that's all he has to deal with. The Hulk over this time should be getting angry. He should be getting stronger and stronger. And at no point does he seem to get strong enough to just take over the fight and take out Thor. So that's pretty much where it is. Thor is this guy with, look, he's a god. Okay, he has godly abilities. He has an endless well of strength that he's going to be able to draw on as the Norse god, not just of thunder, but also the Norse god of strength as well. So with the Hulk, and the other thing with the Hulk is that he starts at a base strength. And you can knock him out. If he doesn't get strong enough to fight with you at a certain level, you can take him out. So he's not this, if you change it to the point where, okay, Thor is as strong as, the Hulk is as strong as Thor, then he doesn't need to get angry anymore, and you have undercut a key foundational part of the character, where the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. Now, I know the fanboys want to come over, oh no, forget all about that. They want both, but you can't have both.
Look at the movies. The movies, they're clearly equal in strength, and you clearly can see the strength that the Hulk exhibits. I mean, come on. I mean, are we being blinded to this? Is the mask too tight, or what?
It's going to be Thor's movie. You say that the Hulk's going to beat him in Thor's movie?
As we saw in the trailer, he's running. He's like, whoa, what the hell is this?
No, he runs towards him, and you can see he's going to connect first.
What is it? The Hulk didn't beat him in the Avengers. Come on. And I don't like these handicaps where you have to say, you know what, we're just going to do no, you can't use your hammer. Okay, I can use all of my special abilities.
Yes. What special abilities?
That you're going to get stronger as you get angry, and there's no limit to it.
Yeah.
So since you don't have any limits, why do I have to have limits there? And the fanboys always come out with this. No, he's got to put the hammer to the side. I was like, well, can he put his stuff to the side too? I was like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your special ability. Okay, that allows you to stay in the game. This is my stuff that allows me to stay in the game. Let's see whose is better. Obviously, mine is better. That's why you want me to put my hammer down. And even when he puts the hammer down,
I'm just saying you can't count the hammer as being part of his ability.
That's
just another aspect of
the hammer
a tool that he uses for his powers. So if someone else has a tool, so be it. You know what I'm trying to say?
And the Hulk has a tool.
I mean, if we started talking about like Black Widow and Captain America, right? And he has to put his
why is he going to put the shield down?
Yeah, why does he
keep
have
the
to put the shield down?
She's going to have her stingers.
Yeah, that's
she doesn't have her stingers. Then they just go mano a mano and see who's a better rider. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, you can use all that stuff.
All right, once again, you guys digress.
No,
so we
digress
have agreed. Have we agreed or disagreed on this matter?
We've outruled you that you're wrong. Not even outruled you. You're just wrong. So that's what it is.
If not, check out the Hulk annual. I think the last big time they fought was in a Hulk annual, and it was said that while the Hulk may be stronger, okay, Thor is more powerful. He's going to end up winning. That's that.
So when you look at the Marvel, what are those? The encyclopedias where they discuss their powers and stuff.
Those are guides.
The guides.
Those guys have a class 100. Both of them are class 100.
Yeah.
Potentially unlimited.
They say class 100. It means above that 100 tons, lifting 100 tons. It's a lifting of, it's not saying, I don't know.
They've each clearly lifted a lot more than 100 tons. Easy.
Exactly.
So is there anything in this particular fight that you guys see that could come out, that Hulk could come out above Thor? No. Or is it just not possible?
Look, you're writing a story, so anything's going to be possible. Mm-hmm. But these are established characters. Okay, these are established characters. Unless you're getting an edict from someone saying this is the person who needs to win, you're supposed to be intellectually honest about it. Look, you take everything that this character has, you take everything that this character has, you match them up, and it's pretty obvious who should win. This is not.
So, but I'm saying, are you saying
it's not like too good? It's not like.
I got that, but I'm saying, are you saying Hulk is a mindless beast, or Hulk with somebody? What was the guy who controlled him? He was able to think and talk. What was that
Bruce
guy?
Banner?
Bruce Banner?
No, not when he was actually.
You don't know the Hulk is Bruce Banner?
No, I know Bruce.
When Bruce Banner was running
as a Hulk.
Yeah, as Bruce Banner.
Who do you think is stronger then?
Thor.
That's it.
The biggest claim. Look,
no matter what, a force of nature.
The Hulk is only a force of nature if you have to remove Bruce Banner completely.
Yeah. And that's what this story was about.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and Thor was still able to match up with him. The strongest the Hulk could ever be is if you remove the Bruce Banner component. Okay, you remove that component, and he's just complete pure rage. And that's what he was in Thor, in Incredible Hulk 300, just complete pure rage. Then that's where he's at. Again, I think after this storyline in 300, they sent him to this crossroads, and he ended up on this planet where everybody was stronger than him. He was never able to get angry enough to match their strength. They were just smacking him around. It was terrible. I hated the story, but that is part of the aspect of the character. The biggest thing that the Hulk's if you like the Hulk, the draw into him is that his strength comes from the fact that he's not being treated fairly. He's us when we're on the job and the boss is like messing with you or somebody else is messing with you, and then finally you get angry about it, you stand up for yourself, and that anger is a righteous anger, and it gives you the power to move off all the bullies and do that sort of thing. But that's where it is. If you take that away, it's not the same character. He's just a strong beast at the end of the day, and strong beasts end up getting put down by the heroes. That's just how it works.
And unless you're doing, I think it was Thor 383, where I think it's a Eric Larson and Jim Shooter's story where Thor decides, I need to vanquish this troll. Like the Hulk is this troll I need to vanquish, and with the hammer he takes him apart in 2 seconds, and then without the hammer they're fighting for like forever. But and Thor's like, his power is never gonna stop. But Thor's still in it for the entire time. Then the hammer comes back, and the Hulk is afraid, and he jumps away. And it's just like, this was the worst story ever. So if you want to do a story to say, with the hammer, Thor can take him apart. Without the hammer, the Hulk might have an edge, a slight edge, but you can't kill Thor, so he'll always come back. So it'll be years, and they'll both be bloody and whatnot. It's like, I didn't get anything out of that story. It was just bad.
But that's one of the most popular matchups.
And why does why does he have to throw? He's like, okay, I got to throw away the hammer, so this guy can win. Come on.
Because he's a Viking, man. He wants to show his strength, his battle.
The Hulk is a Viking?
No, I'm talking about Thor. He wants to show I can take him on.
The Hulk is outsmarting Thor and saying,
the Vikings never threw away their weapons. The Vikings didn't go to the English and say, hey, you know what? No weapons.
We know that, but the way it is depicted.
The Vikings attacked monasteries with people who had no weapons.
We know that. So, why is it continually one of the most popular matchups around?
Because fanboys won't let it go.
No, but there's got to be something to it. You're just saying they won't let it go.
Well, the other thing is that...
Let me not say fanboys. Hulk fans will not let it go. Thor fans, they may ask who would win in a fight, Thor and Superman or something, but they're not asking about the Hulk because they already know what the answer is. Hulk fans, good grief. No, those guys, they just won't let anything go. Okay? The Hulk can beat this, he can beat that. The Hulk has unlimited strength. He can breathe in space. I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean the Hulk can breathe in space? If he goes to space, he doesn't need to breathe. What the hell does the Hulk need to be in space for? That's where these guys don't seem to get. They just won't let it go. So that's why he keeps going. Well, they're not happy with the character as he is.
Petey, what do you think?
You also have to go to, and what's the name, like Jim Shooter, when he was at Marvel, he also wrote a fan letter to Stan when he was a reader and saying that Thor was arrogant. And as he wrote the Avengers, you could slowly see Thor getting his comeuppance from Iron Man, Thor, different aspects of showing Thor trying to hint that Wonder Man is possibly strong. He just was afraid. So it's like he's taking this character down, but for no reason. Wonder Man isn't gonna do the things and do the noble things that Thor has done. So there's no reason to look at him as arrogant. So it's you just had I bring that up to say that writers, us as fans coming in as writers, you know what, I need to do a story where Thor gets his comeuppance and beats the hell out because he's such a jerk to him.
Like Frank Miller. Yeah, like those.
Wait. So what you're saying, isn't the essence when the story of Thor first started, why is he on Earth? Do you remember?
Because what's the name? Don Blake picks up the hammer.
No, he's talking. He's trying to get that Thor needed humility, and so he needs to get his ass kicked by the Hulk.
The fans asked why was the hammer there, and they were they didn't have a reason for it because this book just shifted. It shifted from Don Blake would become Thor, but then it later he started speaking as Thor. Thor became a separate character. And then the fans were like, well, why is Thor, if Asgard's been there, why is the hammer and Thor, what happened to him in those times? So then they just decided we had to come up with something, so they came up with the humility aspect. But you have to remember, Odin was a jerk for most of the Thor series, where he's just like, what's Thor doing? Oh, he's fighting Hercules? Let me
half his strength.
Yeah. And Thor's about to beat Hercules, and he's like, oh, the tide turns. And it's
Hercules loved it.
Yeah.
He was like, have at thee.
And then, of course, he's a jerk. He sells his soul, and Thor has to go save him. So that's the jerk you're trying to talk about. He's a good guy.
Just trying to bring up a point. I mean, right now, one of the big series.
You
out
remember
right now
the
is
comic book, though.
is
That's an important point. He remembered the comic aspect.
Unworthy Thor. I mean, once again, he's been made.
What does that have to do with this?
I'm just trying to show you. You were saying that he's heroic and all this type of stuff. I'm just trying
Unworthy
to make a point.
Thor is right along the lines of what he's talking about with Jim Shooter.
The point I'm just
Somebody
trying,
decided this was a good idea.
which
It
is
has
part of
nothing
the
to do with
canon.
this
Is one of the
fight.
part of the canon. I'm just trying to say though.
No, no. Did Shooter write the Korvac saga? Or?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Okay, so if you read the Korvac saga, and once again it shows you what Thor is in terms of the Avengers, because Korvac took out everyone, with the exception of Thor. Okay, Thor was the only person who was able to survive. If you go by there, if you look at, I mean, the Hulk just has too many losses on record to stuff like gas. Okay, getting beat by Batman, Batman kicking him in the stomach and
There's a
inhaling
lot
some
of
gas.
people upset about that one.
Yeah, he just has too many losses. He has too many losses on record. And again, the appeal to the character, it's all tied into what this guy gets stronger the angrier he gets. If he doesn't need to get angry, if he's going to start with unlimited strength at this point, then Thor or anybody else you're going to match him has no problem taking him out early. Okay, and that's going to be it because he's a one-trick pony. We have enough strong guys already. If you take that dynamic away from him, you change the foundation of the character. When you change the foundation of the character, the fundamentals, it's no longer the same character. So to fanboys, I usually ask, what do you want? Do you want to enjoy this character because you love the character that much? Or do you just want to see him win? Because after he wins, it's over. You're not going to have this character anymore. So you need to make up your mind as to what it is that
Wait,
you
what do
really
you mean
want.
he's not going to have the character anymore?
When you change the foundation, when you change the fundamentals of the character, it's not the same character anymore. It's like
I mean,
watching
how often have writers changed the fundamentals of
all the
All the
time.
time.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying
That's
to
like
say.
watching
I
a
mean,
show about Robin Hood and they take Robin Hood off the show.
or
They
you
just
talk
did it with
about-
King Arthur. They just did it with King Arthur. You know, we just had that King Arthur movie and they changed the entire foundation of it, and then we wonder why the film is being panned and it's not making any money.
It's gonna be a
No, the
six-film
problem is
arc.
that King Arthur, it doesn't relate to the audience anymore. Even though the Transformers is having last night.
Yeah. Even though Optimus Prime is pulling the sword
It's a-
from the stone, and it was,
Robots putting swords, I don't comprehend that. But hey,
I don't comprehend robots with dogs, as sentries. Okay, but hey, for my salt, Thor's gonna win the fight. Thor's
I'm
gonna
there
win.
too.
Didi?
Thor. I mean, they've established it. It was hard to take as a kid, but
You're not a kid anymore.
and then you read the books. It made sense. It was a solid story. There's no reason to fight it and be like, oh, because you like the Hulk. Yeah, everyone, a ton of people liking a character and wanting them to beat these other characters. And then there's no real story besides Thor in this story is trying to stop a mindless, just full of rage Hulk that's just destroyed. He can't see any friends. He's knocked away people that are like Bruce, and it was like he's swatting them away. So this is the end game because he's not just saying, you know what, I got to take out the Hulk tomorrow. He's like, this is the end game. The Avengers always tried to help the Hulk and try to figure things out, and this one he's like, this is it. Like we've got to stop him, or else we don't know what he can do. So Thor is the winner. And you can say it's your thing, even if you get outruled and you're wrong. It just happens.
So, one instance, I just want to make sure we got this. So you're saying Thor is going to win. Just want to make sure it's clear. And Thor is going to win because he is a god, right?
And it's been what's established in the Marvel universe.
So he's a god, right?
Mhm.
A god that was raised by Odin, right?
Yes.
Just want to make sure I got that.
Yes.
Fine. So, ladies and gentlemen,
You didn't answer your part. I knew you were going to try to slick your way out of it. Who wins the fight? Your Trumpian ways. Just answer the question.
clearly,
Wait a second. Look, if you're gonna
No.
say whatever it
Say
is
that
you
louder.
want-
Say that louder. Look into the camera and say it.
clearly, it seems that Thor may have an edge, especially with his weapon. So clearly, there's an edge right there. I've said it. I've come out honestly. I mean, he is a god, for God's sake. Well,
That's it.
While
No more needs to be said.
while
All right.
he's a human being.
Interact
You know what I'm
out.
trying to say?